This is a walking meditation about what to do with your time. A lot of times we have so many obligations, so many things to do that we never get a moment to relax and settle. And when we relax and settle, we go to our go to things. And then when we try to relax and settle even more, if we try to just be in the present in a meditative state, it's really challenging because there's so many thoughts that come in all the time. Even trying to relax and meditate, it's really challenging. And then at the end of the day, how do you feel about all of the tasks that you got done? And we are so enmeshed in all of the things we have to do, our work, our jobs, our families, administrative stuff that we do, even hobbies that we do. And one thing that I've noticed is people are not wanting to do all the things anymore. Even trying to fix a bill problem is causing people stress. Having to call in a bill or go online or have something fixed. And our society is very interesting right now in that we have so many opportunities and we also have so many challenges. The way a system is set up has now so many checks and balances that a lot of the things that we do don't make any sense. There's so many forms we have to fill out and processes we have to go through, and it takes up a lot of time. And unless you have somebody who does that for you, that's another thing that takes energy and time. And so when you have a moment to rest, have you planned what you want to do for your moment of rest? And usually we don't. Usually we just crash. Or we plan something special and we enjoy it. But what about being in the present moment? Being in the present moment gets a lot of hype nowadays. And people say it's easy, it's simple, and it really is. And it's also not. Because what are you saying about being in the present moment? I know being in the present moment, I've had many different experiences being in the present moment. So trying to get back to a present moment, I notice fails. So if I have Zen meditation moments and I try to get back to those Zen meditation moments, I find personally that doesn't work for me. I'm trying to find a place that was unique in its present moment. And so I'm wanting something out of the moment instead of being in the present moment. And I think that's one of the hurdles. One of the hurdles is wanting something, wanting the present moment to be something when it's going to be whatever it is. And the second is thoughts. So many thoughts in my head. What do I do with all of those thoughts? That's what I'm going to address today in the walking meditation is what are some different ways to find the present moment in the midst of having so many thoughts? Also, when I'm meditating, I notice I go through different stages and phases as well. Sometimes I don't find it easy to relax as quickly as I have before, or to just settle in. And then a thought will come in and it will change the entire experience for me because I'll feel like, oh, I've got to go do this thing. And it takes me out of what I'm trying to do. And so in the present moment, we try to find it in a meditation or a prayer or some way that we try to do that. When in reality, we can actually be in the present moment all the time. And that's what I'm going to share today in this walking meditation is how do you be in the present moment all the time? So let's practice. As you're getting comfortable, Whatever you want to do, you can lay down, you can sit up, you can walk, you can drive. We're not going to go into a meditative state. We're just going to be in a present moment state. And in the present moment state, one of the first things you do is notice how you're feeling. What temperature is your body? What appendages do you feel and not feel? Do you feel pressure anywhere? Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? Do you feel at ease anywhere? How is your posture? How is your neck feeling? How is your head? If you imagine your brain, how is your brain functioning in this moment? How do your arms and legs feel? Inside your body, how is your digestion going? How is your breathing? Does it feel even? Do you feel like you're taking in breaths? In this small exchange, we've just been in the present moment. Also, though, what we do is we notice, oh, my shoulder's sore, or this is tight, and we have a thought or emotion about that. It usually isn't, it's usually judgmental towards ourselves. We're a little critical towards ourselves. And so, as we're doing this present moment walking meditation, we're just going to take a deep breath and just imagine letting everything go, even though it may not go. We're just imagining it. And we're noticing what's left. And I'm just going to be with any tightness in my body right now. I'm just going to notice it. I'm not going to try to fix it or relax it. I'm just going to notice it. As I'm doing that, I'm going to open my eyes. And I'm going to look around me. And I'm going to notice what is around me. Am I looking outside? Inside? What am I seeing? And I'm going to look all around me in all directions so that I notice everything. And then I'm going to notice myself in that space, my body in this place. And I'm just noticing. I'm not going to try to make any type of thoughts or conclusions about it. I'm just noticing. And then I'm going to find a detail about something. And I'm going to look very closely at it. And in this, looking at the details and the big picture, those are two different ways to be in the present moment. So if you ever need to be in the present moment, those are two ways to do it. Well, actually, three now. Notice yourself, notice what's around you, and then notice a detail. So those are three ways to really concentrate on this present moment. A lot of people use breath where they count their breathing or they concentrate on their breathing. That doesn't really work for me personally because I'll have thoughts that come in. And so now what do we do with those thoughts? And so right now we're going to just allow every thought to come in. And I'm going to notice what they are. Is this one disturbing? Is this one a bad habit? Is this one an addiction? Is this one a pleasant thought? Is this one about a person? Is this about my feelings? Notice everything that's coming in. And so you just look at it like it's a movie. And then I'm going to bring up my special place. And my special place is a waterfall with green grass and shrubbery and trees, and there's sun but shade. It's perfect weather. The water sounds beautiful. It's just gorgeous there. I can sit on the grass without getting itchy or I'm on a towel or a blanket, whatever it is that you need to make your special place comfortable for you, and you're going to notice this special place. So now this seems like we're not in the present moment because we're literally either making up a place or we're pretending we're someplace else. And this is really about helping your thoughts go towards what you want them to, your special place. This is your place. This is where you're in control. This is where your thoughts get to meld around. And so now Anytime you have a thought that you don't want to have in this moment, whether it's something you need to deal with, you think about a mistake you've made, it doesn't really matter. What I'm going to do with mine is I'm going to imagine I'm just putting those thoughts into the waterfall and letting the waterfall break it up and expand it and move it around, move the energy around of all of those thoughts. I'm not taking them away, I'm rearranging them. And so I'm letting the waterfall do that. Meanwhile, anything that pops into my head, I'm throwing towards that waterfall. And now I'm going to choose to think of something good, something that I like about myself. So in this present moment, what things do I like about me? And I'm thinking about those things. And if I have trouble with that, I think of good memories, good times, accomplishments I've made, things that I love. So sometimes it's challenging to think about ourselves and to put ourselves, all of the good things about ourselves, and to actually concentrate and think on it, because then all of our mistakes come into play. So we're just throwing those into the waterfall. And in the meantime, I'm back to me. So that's the interesting part about being in the present moment because we are so used to watching. We watch TV, social media, we watch interactions, we watch the world, we watch the news, we watch. And in a strange way, that takes us out of our own present moment. And sometimes we want to be out of the present moment because we don't like our present reality. And that's okay too. We're just throwing that into the waterfall. That goes in. In your mind, wherever you're at, put it someplace. Put it in a fire, water, a hole, like put it someplace. Put it into a crystal, whatever is in your surroundings. So then we're back to understanding that we are used to watching. We are not used to actually being in our bodies in the present moment. We usually want to be somewhere else. We want to look a different way. We want to have a different life. We want to have different financial status. And so we look at what we think we want and we throw all that into the waterfall. And now it's just us. It's just us here in this moment. And sometimes it's hard to hype ourselves up, but we're going to in this moment. We're going to hype ourselves up of all of the good things, the good qualities we have, the potential that we have, the love that we have for the people that we care about, kind things we do, and all of the judgments we're thrown into the waterfall. What happens is we start comparing with someone or something we've seen, and because we're not that, we discount ourselves. And so when we do that, we tend to blame or we feel like the world and life happens to us. And it's very disempowering. It's very depressing. And so in this moment, we're going to pretend that we are the main character, we are the hero of our life. We are. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our bodies and how we look and notice any comparisons that just happened. We're going to throw those into the water. And now we imagine our own bodies as they are in this moment. And we're going to pretend that's the status the whole world thinks is great. This is what is authentic for us and it's perfect for us in this moment, even if it doesn't seem to be ideal. We're going to pretend this is the standard. This is the standard. Whatever our health is, whatever we look like, whatever we feel like, we are the standard. We're going to pretend we chose this exact way to look at this time in our lives. And we did it for a very good reason to help ourselves. And any thoughts that get in the way, we throw them in the water. So this is the way that I chose to be made. I'm not going to harp on eating habits, workout schedules, any of that. I'm throwing that in the water. And this is perfect now. This is perfect now. Even if I have pain, health issues, weight issues, I'm going to throw the judgment into the water. And this is my perfect self. And in this perfect self, the vibrations from the divine come into me and run through me. The vibrations from the planet, its perfection, comes into my field, and they all combine cohesively in my body in this moment. And any judgments, I'm throwing them in the water. Because the truth is, divinity always can be in my field. It always is in my field. It's always within me, in my cells. It is me. I forget it. And I'm here on this planet at this time. And the planet talks to me in my field. It talks to me through plants and animals, situations, and I can feel connected. And if I don't, I imagine that I am connected. And in this space and in this body and in this moment, I am perfect. All of the structures of the world, all of the expectations, those were created, and then humans just continued to follow that pattern. In some countries, you get someone a gift on their birthday. But if you look at the world, birthdays are even different. Some people do conception. Some people do when you come into the world out of your mom. Like there's different, we decide that. We decide that. And then we follow that pattern to have some type of consistency to live in. And so in this moment, if we had no rules, no expectations, if money didn't exist, if we just lived in this world, if we helped people, if we helped ourselves, what if everybody was equal? This is a very hard concept to have. Everyone is equal. Everybody is different, but everybody is equal. We all have something to contribute. A lot of times we wonder, what do I have to contribute? What do I have that someone else doesn't have? Everybody has their own vibration, and that vibration is going to resonate with at least some people. It's why we don't tend to get along with everybody. We have different priorities and expectations and different gifts and talents. And so it does put us into categories so that we can help each other in our categories. But we can also spread that to the world to be useful together as a whole. Because we compare, it causes a lot of angst, troubles, identity crises. If there was no comparison, if you are perfect, you are perfect. And the other people around are perfect too. If we're all perfect, then we just get to decide how we want to function together or individually. Who do we want to function with? What feels best? What works best? And that's what we go towards. And we don't have to make the things that we don't blend well with wrong. They have their own purpose. When you're cooking, you don't want to set everything on fire. So if someone has a fire element, that's very useful, but not needed in every single situation. They're needed in the situations they're useful for. We are useful. Sometimes just sitting and being can make a difference. Our own vibration, our own peace, our own sense of self, our own sense of this present moment is ours. It's our vibration. All of our vibrations are different. When we like somebody, we have vibrations that will click together, that feel good together. If there's someone that there's dissonance with, what if you have to work with them? What if you have to be with somebody that feels very dissonant for you? That is when we need to come to a level of understanding. So in this present moment, I am in the vicinity of someone who I don't resonate with. I have to figure that out. I have to figure out, do I want to work with them? How do I work with them? What is their ability to work with me? What do I do with it? And do I stay here? So we do what we can to make something work. And when it doesn't, do we shift and adjust so that we can get back on track? A lot of times we don't because of expectations, things we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to be. There's also a level of acceptance we can have for somebody who feels dissonant from us. And in that, we can accept where they're coming from, what their priority is, and we can understand them better. We can look at them and see how they're functioning in the environment. Are they causing chaos? And ironically, creation and chaos go together. They, if something is chaos, it creates change. And so all of the people that we think are quote dissonant, they're causing change. Now, do we judge it as good change, bad change? We like it, we don't like it. That's a whole other matter. That comes into emotions and judgment. If we use discernment, we can see, oh, in this workplace, I'm with someone who's very dissonant, or in my family, there's someone, or in my friend group, very dissonant. Okay, that means I have a part of me that has invited in chaos, which means change, which means looking at something to perhaps make a different decision. What do I want to do with this? Sometimes those dissonant people you want on your side because they can be very protective. They make changes. They may not necessarily think about other people around them and how it's affecting that, but are they even meant to? They could just be making changes. Whereas you have someone who's steady and consistent and steady and consistent. And what do you like about them? Do you like that? Or is that boring for you? We're all very different. And so we utilize the energies around us to see where can we find resonance. So with that dissonance, is there a place I need dissonance? Is there a place I need shaken up in my life? And I have some self-reflection and I look at that. Do I need to learn a voice? Do I need to become more confident in my decisions? Do I need to make more solid, clear decisions or conversations with people? What do I need to do? If I am triggered by anybody, it is because there's some dissonance there. So I look at the dissonance and I see, can we make this work? And sometimes you can, and sometimes you cannot. That's just the way it is. It's not like you can stop the thunder. You have lightning and thunder. Like, are you going to stop it? Or are you going to allow it to run its course? Sometimes things need to run their course because of the amount of energy they have behind them. And that is why sometimes in society, there are groups that get a lot of energy behind them. So thoughts on, there's a lot of energy in how a person should look or dress or act or be, or what you should do with your life. And there's a lot of people in that group that's a lot of energy, but that doesn't necessarily mean that makes it right for you. And so in these present moments, this is when we get to step back and we're just looking at the vibrations of ourselves and everything around us. We're just feeling them. That's the present moment. I find it does help me to add in some gratitude in that because I can always see what's off, and I have trained myself many years to do that. And so it's challenging to not always see what seems to be off. We notice what's moving, we notice what's off. Do we notice what stays still? And so that's what I do sometimes when I start noticing things. I notice, okay, what stays still? What feels good that stays still? Oh, okay, that. And I can calm myself in that energy. And so these are just some of the ways to find the present moment. And as I'm looking around, I'm going to look at something that I can feel grateful for. And if I can't see something, I can remember a memory, I can remember a person, whatever I need to do to find some semblance to lift my mood and feel a little better.